Now let's talk about this First Amendment issue. From the opinion we read, the First Amendment protects the inalienable right of every individual to decide for himself how best to speak. That's from Riley versus National Federation of the Blind. And laws regulating speech based on its subject matter or communicative content are presumptively unconstitutional, triggering strict scrutiny that requires the government to prove its restriction is narrowly tailored to serve compelling state interests. Viewpoint discrimination represents an even more egregious form of content regulation from which governments must nearly always abstain. Now, most everything Justice Gorsuch said was true, except for the statement about the First Amendment. Now, while freedom of speech does protect a right for people to decide for themselves how best to speak, First Amendment protections are limited. Did you notice how the court did not quote the First Amendment but previous court opinions? Maybe because that would prove the error of their statement. The First Amendment reads, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof or abridging the freedom of speech. Since Congress did not make this law, it cannot violate the First Amendment. We do not doubt that the question how best to help minors struggling with issues of gender identity or sexual orientation is presently a subject of fierce public debate. But Colorado's law addressing such conversion therapy does not just ban physical interventions. In cases like this, it censors speech based on viewpoint. Yes, Colorado's law censors speech, and only for one viewpoint. That does not make it a First Amendment violation, though, but a free speech violation. Now, substitute free speech to the First Amendment, and the next statement makes a lot more sense. Colorado may regard its policy as essential to public health and safety. Certainly, censorious governments throughout history have believed the same, but the First Amendment stands as a shield against any effort to enforce orthodoxy in thought or speech in this country. It reflects instead a judgment that every American possesses an inalienable right to think and speak freely, and a faith in the free marketplace of ideas as the best means for discovering truth. However well-intentioned, any law that suppresses speech based on viewpoint represents an egregious assault on both of those commitments. Very interesting point, because Colorado is not the only government that has attempted to censor speech it disagreed with. That puts Colorado on the same footing as every other despotic, censorious government that has ever risen.